Good morning and welcome to Be Okay with Not Being Perfect with your host, David Rieger Jr. Today, we're going to go over the three W's: the who, the what, and the why. So, just a little bit about myself. I was born in Fort Carson, Colorado, to my father, David Rieger Sr., and my mother Beverly Jean Brewer of Colorado Springs. I moved quite a bit in between that when I ultimately grew up in Loami, Illinois, attended both the elementary there and then transitioned to New Berlin, Illinois, where I ended up graduating from New Berlin as a pretzel in 2008. After that, I joined the service. So originally, I had signed up to go reserves. After that, in high school, I learned very quickly that I did not want to go reserves as a chaplain's assistant, and I actually made the transition over to active duty. I spent just under 4 years in the active army as an intelligence analyst. I was stationed in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. I was deployed to Baghdad, Iraq from 2010 to 2011, early 2012. After that, I got out of the military. I came back home to my family and loved ones, where I sought comfort and support, and I received that. Um, Growing up, my father spent 33 years in the Army and traveled all over the place. I learned a lot from my father, and I owe a lot of my character, my person, and who I am because of him. My mother, Valerie Rieger, was a positive light and supportive person, and anything and everything I did, unconditional love. My mother, Beverly Jean Brewer, passed last year due to liver issues. And when I talk about love and care from a person, um, unconditional love, and just a person who was always there when I needed her and I didn't want her there. She was always there. She was always my positive light and supporter. And I miss her every single day. And I think about her a lot. Um, I wouldn't be the person I am today without my mother. Um, I love you and I miss you. I know you're with us every single day, and I know you're smiling upon me as I go upon my ventures. And I know you are smiling and proud of your grandchildren and my brothers and sisters. And you love us all, and you just wanted us to all be together. And I'm thankful for that. And I try to be that person. I'm a big person of leading by example. So, going back to after the military, I spent just under 10 years um, working in different retail environments. So, I worked security for a little while at the White Oaks Mall. After that, I went to Kohl's, where I was the asset protection leader for a few years. Um, After that, I got recruited over to Target, where I spent just over 5 years doing loss prevention as their supervisor. During that time, I had lots of different things going in my life, to include my mother's health. I had a newborn. God blessed me with a newborn, and I'm so thankful for that. But it was just a real trying time. So I focused on applying for VA disability. So something I'm very open and transparent about is my mental health. A big part of this podcast, a big part of my business ventures and my job and my assistance with my family's non-for-profit Operation Hometown Heroes comes from mental health. Not just my need for mental health, but everyone in some part of their life has struggled with anxiety, depression, a parent dying, a dog passing, sickness, poverty. There's just a whole list of items that come across individuals' lives where it's just really hard. And I get that. That's just a natural thing that we can't avoid or get around. But I think there are some positive tools that you could utilize, and I hope this podcast could be part of that part of learning from real people's failures. Um, I'll get to that shortly on the guest I'm looking for to have this podcast. Um, I'm a father of two children, two girls, hashtag girl dad. Um, and I am married to my wife, Emily. We've been married for 6 years now. We just had our anniversary. Um, they're a big part and beacon in my life. So I have kind of three main priorities when I make decisions or I think about what I'm doing or I'm planning or anything like that. I have three main pillars that I stick with. And it's real easy for me to make a quick decision on whether this is right or this fits or not. So the first one being my first priority is my spirituality. Um, I believe in God. I believe in Jesus Christ. I attend Hope Church. We just became members after attending just under 4 years. Um, I go to church every Sunday, and or I try to listen, um, regardless of your religious background or beliefs. I'm not here to shove it down your throat and make you feel a certain way. I'm just telling you what I find peace in and what fills my cup and allows me to make positive choices and live my life. So you can see the cross that I wear. You can most of the time see my What Would Jesus Do bracelet from the 90s. And I'm very open about talking with it. I'm not going to shove it in your face. I'm not going to preach to you. I am willing to enlighten and share the peace that I have found through my journey to find Jesus Christ. So that was my top priority. I start off with prayer. I try to do different things to live that life. And man, the weight that it has lifted off of me when I am lost and I have no answers, I just lay it at his feet. Um, there's only so much you could carry, and I think the quicker you learn that you are not in control and that um, there's just going to be so many things that happen that are already written into a book and are predestined. So I learned that at a very young age after losing my sister Hannah Grace, and I was just mad and upset, trying to figure out why. Um, when I came to it and I leaned into church, my parents allowed me to do that. I learned very quickly that I'm not in control, um, and I the epiphany and the weight that was lifted off of my shoulders after that. I could sleep peacefully. I could feel confident that as long as I try to make the best choices I can, I will be okay. My family will be okay. Everything in this world will be okay. Um, so the second health piece, or the second piece of this, is my health. So the basic things that you could do to feel better and really optimize and live longer and happier and all that stuff is taking and addressing your health. So whether that's making small transitions or picking up the right box at the grocery store, um, instead of going to McDonald's, maybe choosing a healthier option. There's extremes to all of this. I've learned with just try to make small individual good choices. It's okay to um, eat what you want sometimes, and it's all about moderation. I mean, there's millions of videos and podcasts out there where they talk about that, but eating is a big part of this. One of the most important pieces is sleep. So if you don't get sleep, your body is not able to reset and recharge and heal. So prioritizing sleep, going to sleep at a consistent time, is very important for me. The quality of sleep, removing those notifications off of your phone, or um, just not eating certain things or consuming caffeine or anything like that. I've recently started doing like grounding outside and cold exposure. I Last night I got a nasal dilator where the magnets like hold my nose open, and I got the best sleep that I've had in probably years. I was super excited to share that information with my coach, Brendan Melham of Melham Health, where I hope to have him on as a podcast. And I'm just really excited about my health journey. So I've lost about 40 pounds in the last month and a half, just making small changes to my sleep and what I eat and activities. So even if I don't work out, I found walking immediately in the morning um, gets the blood flowing, allows me to clear my mind and kind of prioritize things, and then just listening to podcasts, just feeding positive information, actionable information that I could use to move forward, and just give me another thing to be better at. So I'm a big person of listening to podcasts. The third priority for me, and the reason it's like this, I'll explain this in just a minute, is my family. So going back to my wife Emily and my daughters, um, I love them very much, and I go away from the house in the morning, but I come home every single day. I try my best as a father and a working husband to prioritize their time. Ultimately, as I'm working towards different business ventures and opportunities, I try to make that a priority to spend time with them and not miss anything as much as possible, um, because they're a core of why I do what I do. I work harder. I I just do everything a thousand times better because of my wife and my daughter. They make me want more for my life, and they've flipped this switch in me that I can't turn off. That I want the best, not for myself, but for them. I tell people consistently, I feel like I'm on borrowed time. I feel like I shouldn't have made it out of Iraq or post Iraq. So I'm on God's time right now, and whatever He gives me, I'm just going to be thankful for and live every day to the fullest and try to optimize everything I can um, to make the biggest impact. And like I said, I try to do a lot of what I do to emulate um, what Jesus did throughout his life, and I'm not perfect at it. This is pretty new to me on surrendering and giving generously, and just the whole gamut of items that I've learned from Hope and the Rooted class that I went through, um, that are really important to me. So, lastly, the whole point of this podcast is to talk about real adventures, things that happen in our life that ultimately cause a um, issue or a barrier or just a whole list of things. We all have those. Like I said, whether it's a death in the family, a sickness, mental health struggling, PTSD, MST, um, anxiety, depression, body dysmorphia. I just could go down the whole list of mental health conditions that people deal with. I'm trying to talk to those individuals and learn Let's hear about what happened, but most importantly, what did you do during that time period, and what are your key takeaways? So, if I could give you one thing to take away, and you could relate to a story in one way, that's ultimately what I want to do. So, um, this is all new to me. This is all raw and uncut video. It's not going to be perfect. I'm going to say a lot of ums and ahs, and the background isn't perfect like I want it to be, but that's okay. That's the whole point and purpose of this podcast is to show authenticity and share positive messages of how we kind of come across something difficult in our life, and how do we move forward on our own or together, because it's not just you going through this, and there are tons of great people that care about you and love and support you. And my hope is to inspire more positive individuals to be bold in their faith, or be more bold in their friendships or their relationships with people, to say, hey, how are you doing today? Or shoot them a text saying, hey man, I love you. Mom, I hope you have a wonderful day. Just something small like that, just to show people that you care. Um, I think a big thing, and the last thing I'll talk about is, there are some people in this life where they're just leaders and they carry everything on their backs, and they smile and they seem great and okay. But those are the people that are carrying the village that need it the most. So if you're listening to this, or you're seeing this, and you're like, man, I see this person's Facebook, or I see them in public, and they're just always that real strong individual. Reach out to them today, shoot them a text, say, hey, just thinking about you. I'm proud of you. I'm thankful for you. I'm glad you're here. As simple as that. Just say, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad I know you. Because what that does is kind of reset and let people know, and have that acknowledgement. And a lot of us look for that, but be that positive light. And I hope you guys could follow me along for this podcast venture. If you're interested in being a guest, please reach out to me. I'm shooting this out of my garage. I'm more than willing to come to you, and I have a quick little setup that we could do, and some mics, and I hope we have fun. So be okay with not being perfect. The final thing I want to talk about is November 11th at the Salvation Army from 3 to 7 p.m. We have Vet Stock. This is a first of a kind Central Illinois Veterans Day festival to not just include the veterans, but to include their families in our community. I always say someone knows a veteran. So whether it's an uncle or a spouse or a grandmother or your mailman or whomever it may be, someone always knows a veteran. And we're not a separate part of the population. We are a mailman, or we're a pastor, or we're all of that. So we're not a separate part. So I hope you don't think of us like that. But getting back to vet stock, there are about 10 of us on this committee. We threw this together pretty quickly. There's lots different exciting things that we're going to have at this day. So come on out to the Salvation Army November 11th. If you have transportation needs, I'm going to be working on that in the next few days to try to figure that out. Whether that's a taxi company or anything like that, or other individuals that come pick up veterans or people in the population overall. So, also, we have our vet stock uh, 2025 shirts available on pre-sale. Miles T-shirts was great in helping us with the design and sharing a pre-sale online store. We will have a limited amount of these shirts at vet stock. So let me know ahead of time, or go on the website. The shirts are only $20. The money is going directly to the event. whatever funds we don't use for this year will get directly rolled over to next year. And we got all kinds of things from music, food. The food is free for the veteran and $5 a plate for the community. And again, all these funds are going back towards the Veterans Day event, and to support local veterans in Sangamon County, and really anyone who comes from wherever. We're excited to have you. But we're looking to make a positive light and change, centralize some of these events. We're so thankful for the businesses and individuals that do something special on that day. As a disabled veteran, I can't tell you what it means to hear a thank you, or to have some kind gesture, or have a little kid draw a picture. Man, it makes me proud that what I did for my country is not going unnoticed, and I am so appreciative for it. So, again, we hope to see you out at VetStock 2025 from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Salvation Army, located on Clear Lake Avenue. It's the old Gold's Gym. Archie and the team, all of us are going to be out there, so come on out and have fun. So thank you for listening to my first podcast, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.
If you want to see the next one, comment below on this. Girls and boys, whoever your name is.